This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Thank you very much, Renelle. I am Rod Brooks, and welcome everyone to Quality Hang. And as always, I'm joined on this broadcasting adventure by my partner in crime, my friend, the co-host of Quality Hang. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, dog?
What's good, baby? What's good?
Oh man, it is all good. We are in the comfortable bosom of football season. You know, we had a really good college football Saturday.
Yeah.
We had a good NFL week 2. We have 2 Monday night football games on tonight.
Yes.
We're in the sweet spot, baby. So even though my Texans deserve to lose a game that they lost tonight, it's all good, baby. It's football season. I can't complain.
Was it a bad loss?
Was it a bad loss? Yes, because they had a 5-point lead with less than 2 minutes to go.
Those are the ones.
And Tampa had 3 timeouts. But again, the Texans, they didn't deserve to win that game. Nobody wants to hear me bitch about my football team. You want to hear me talk about your favorite football teams. But I'll say this much. The Niners see the Texans and the Buccaneers on the schedule later this season, with the Buccaneers coming up first. And that's the game where they're expecting Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle to be back along with Brock Purdy. Tampa has got to be better, or the Niners going to get them. And the Texans, for sure, cannot stop the run, cannot run the ball. So I would think that they are squarely in the Niners' crosshairs, but neither here nor there. Like I said, we are in the comfortable bosom of football season. And even if your team found a way to feed defeat right into the mouth of a ravenous beast, it's still football season, baby. So ain't nothing wrong with that. Before we get started in earnest, as we always do, we thank our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. Check them out online at hopmonk.com to see what they have going on as far as the live music, live entertainment is concerned. At all 3 venues, you will get a diverse array of entertainment options. And again, all 3 Hop Monk venues in Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. You will get touring acts from around the country. You will get something as cool as, let's say you're into country line dancing. There's open mic night, open mic comedy night. There is trivia nights. Whatever you are into, you can find it at Hop Monk, and it's also a great place. And this is why I love Hop Monk as far as the live entertainment is concerned. Local artists have a place to play in all 3 venues. So check them out online at hopmonk.com and definitely stop by. You won't be disappointed with the food. It's fantastic from a diverse menu, and the craft beer selection is awesome as well. And again, we thank Dean and the folks at Hop Monk for their continued support. They have been with us from the beginning, and we absolutely appreciate that. Let me give Marcus a couple of updates here before we get into the show. We'll start with the NFL. 2 Monday night games tonight. If you are unaware, if you are watching us and watching the game at the same time, the Raiders and the Chargers, we sure do appreciate that. 8:18 left to go in the second quarter. Chargers up 10-6. And Marcus, you're a man who's very wise, and with that intelligence comes caution. You're not like me, right? I'm like a Labrador retriever. I see something I think is cool, I'm like, and I slobber all over it, right? You are just like, nah, I'm gonna wait and see. And I was telling you, your boy Geno Smith with your now Las Vegas Raiders, I'm like, you're gonna like Geno, man. You're gonna like Geno. What did Geno do? First play from scrimmage, he threw an interception. So your sort of hands-off, cautious approach, it's warranted.
I listen. Geno Smith has come a long way. Those first few years, if you didn't think that dude was going to be out of the league those first 3 years, you were far more generous than most of us, because I was like, there ain't no way this dude gonna ever be able to play long term in the NFL. But here we are 10 years later, guy's still there, He's a solid quarterback.
Yep.
My feeling about him and most of the games I've ever seen him play is he's inevitably going to make 2 mistakes.
Yeah,
that's going to cost you.
He's like Steve DeBerg. He's good enough to get you beat.
And he holds the ball forever. I'm like, okay, dude, you should take it away. So I haven't seen this game at all yet, other than trying to find out if Khalil Mack broke his arm. But I saw some of the game last week, and I was like, yeah, this is probably as good as this dude can play.
He's better than what you've had, but he is good enough to get you beat. He was a good quarterback in college, though. He was a good quarterback at West Virginia. So getting to the league and getting to who did he start with? The Giants, if I'm remembering correct.
Jets.
Was it the Jets? The Jets. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hey, man, listen, we've seen it. The Jets and the Browns, those are places you go, and they are going to they are soul suckers. Okay. Whatever amount of positivity, whatever amount of talent, whatever amount of hope, whatever amount of want to you possess as a player, the Jets and the Browns are going to completely just like sucking the marrow out of the bone. They're just going to suck it right out of you. So Geno Smith getting the hell out of there and getting to Seattle and then eventually getting to the Raiders is good for him. But again, 10-6 early in the second quarter. The Chargers on top of the Raiders. The Buccaneers, who are one of the 2-0 teams in the NFL, and we'll get to those guys in a second. The group up teams, Buccaneers did beat the Texans in Houston. Buccaneers 2-0. Texans, and I'm not just saying this, they were a team that a lot of people expected to have a big season this year, and it's still possible. But the Texans, a disappointing 2-0. And as far as the Giants are concerned, and the Giants are still in the midst of a pennant race, although the Giants did get slapped around by the Dodgers on Saturday and Sunday, outscored the Giants to the tune of 23-9 in the games on Saturday and Sunday. So the Giants are sitting at 75-74. They are tied with the Arizona Diamondbacks. It is now heading to the bottom of the sixth, 1-1. Marcus, we've seen the bad Giants show up from a few weeks ago when they just couldn't do anything right, when they couldn't score, and they were also throwing the ball all around the place. And the Diamondbacks were able to score the first run in the top of the first, or only run in the top of the first. As again, the game is tied at 1-1. It was a walk, a hit by pitch, pass ball, and a throwing error, a pickoff error by starting pitcher tonight, Kai Tang. That's how the Diamondbacks scored their first and so far only run. But Casey Schmidt, who has been on a tear lately, Casey Schmidt was able to tie it with a solo home run in the top of the third, and it has been 1-1 ever since. So we'll keep you updated on that, and also keep you updated on what their top prospect, Bryce Eldridge, has been able to do in his first 2 major league at bats, as the Giants felt the need to bring up their their biggest prospect in a long time. And I say that not because he's just he's a stud baseball player, still unproven, of course, in Major League Baseball, but he's a big dude, big boy, 6'7" is how big Bryce Eldridge is. So he's literally the Giants' biggest prospect in a long time.
This would be interesting because I'm not sure I've ever seen a big tall hitter do that well. Am I missing somebody?
No, you're not.
7 seems to be like, after about 6'5", I feel like there's diminishing returns on tall
position players. Exactly. Baseball is not a sport for us long-limbed, gangly people. And I include myself in that because baseball was my favorite sport growing up. And but of course, it not being a sport for us makes us long-limbed, gangly people want to play it even more. So credit to Bryce Eldridge for doing that. But Cat's got crazy power. And it, to me, just in what I've been able to observe, and also people that I've talked to in the Giants organization, it's power that is going to translate to the majors. He just has to learn. He has to learn the majors. He has to learn major league pitching. I mean, already, he's been getting the full boat. Bryce Eldridge's first at bat, he was able to work a count. and get some pitches, but he eventually grounded out Bryce Eldridge to first base. And in his second at bat, and Eldridge is facing Zach Gallen, who is a really, really good pitcher. And in Bryce Eldridge's second at bat, he struck out swinging, and he saw, without a doubt, and I can say this with great certainty, those were the nastiest pitches that Bryce Eldridge has ever seen in his baseball life. and it looked like it. So Bryce Eldridge has to learn how to hit, but when he gets a hold of one, it's going to go. And another issue with Bryce Eldridge, and it's not that big of a deal right now because of the DH in the National League. Thankfully, I've always been an advocate for that, so I'm glad that you have it in both leagues. Bryce Eldridge can just concentrate on hitting. The interesting thing about Bryce Eldridge, and I've talked to people in the Giants organization about this, is they're literally in the process of teaching him how to play first base. He doesn't have a position. Yeah. And so now Rafael Devers obviously is playing first base. He's not going to usurp Devers at first because number one, Devers is a much better defensive first baseman. Obviously, he's a much better hitter. And you're not going to put Devers at third because Matt Chapman is there doing it at a Gold Glove level. But part of Bryce Eldridge getting in the majors and staying in the majors, yes, it's his bat. But he's going to have to eventually play a position. And the Giants have been sort of speed running him in terms of trying to get him to learn how to play first base on a competent level. Forget about trying to do it at a spectacular level.
Yeah, man. I mean, I only hope that this thing goes on and we go play the string out, take it to the very last game. I would hate for them to see it all fall apart the last couple of weeks. It would really be sad, man.
Well, we were on the air when this happened, but the movement to get Bryce Eldridge in the mix for the Giants all happened on Friday night when Dominic Smith injured his hamstring, stretching out for a ball in the one game that the Giants won over the weekend. Pardon me, against the Dodgers. Once Dominic Smith was ruled out for however long he's going to be out with a hamstring injury, you're more than likely talking about from now until the end of the regular season. The Giants needed another bat. They needed a bat off the bench. And Buster Posey is kind of pushing the chips in the middle of the table, saying we're not going to be like, well, we shouldn't bring the kid up because this, that, and the third. You got to, and that's the player in Buster Posey. He understands it. He can read the game and he can read the clubhouse. And he looked at Saturday and Sunday where the Giants were listless and not doing much offensively, and he said, I got to give these guys a spark. In comes Bryce Eldridge, and we'll see if it works.
Yeah, and I kind of hope that it's always weird to put these guys in this time of the year because it's either saying, you know what, season's over, we're not going to do anything, we're just going to throw this guy out there, or as you said, it could be a search for a spark. So we'll see how this thing plays out, man.
Yeah. It's a smart move, and it's a move worth doing. The snark in me when I heard the news said, well, he can't pitch because that's the Giants' problem to me anyway. But there's no sense in if you have multiple problems and you have a chance to address one of the problems you have, and for the Giants, it was needing another bat off the bench, needing some pop, needing a spark to try and lean to the tape and get across the finish line in one of those 3 wild card spots. It was worth doing. So the Giants. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You would know better than I. Are there any pitching prospects that they're looking at right now?
No. What the Giants have is what they have. You can't.
That's rough, dude.
Yeah, there's no one to bring up to start. And obviously you can't trade. We're past the trade deadline. There is no magic pitching bullet. What the Giants have is what they have. And what was disappointing about the weekend for the Giants is Saturday and Sunday, you had your 2 best pitchers. Webb and Ray. And Webb and Ray were not as effective. I'm going to be kind when I say this. Not as effective as you needed them to be, to the tune of the Dodgers. And I'm not putting all 23 runs, obviously, on Webb and Ray, but a good number of those 23 runs came because of Webb and Ray not being as effective as you needed them to be. So it's Webb, it's Ray, it's Kai-Wei Tang on the mound tonight, and give Kai-Wei Tang a lot of credit. He only gave up that 1 run, and it was unearned. It was walk, hit by pitch, the error, and a pass ball and the throwing error. So, he's doing his job, but they still need a little bit more. And so you got Verlander coming in. I think they're done with Carson Whisenhunt. Matter of fact, if I'm remembering correctly, he might even be on the injured list. But as it stands right now, pitching wise, they got what they got: Webb, Ray, Tang, and Verlander. Go get them. Those are your four.
I mean, it might have it could be a thing where Verlander all of a sudden is the guy carrying these dudes into the postseason if they get there.
I mean,
he's got the experience. He knows what's going on. He knows how to handle it. He's not afraid. He clearly knows how to be clutch. So, I mean,
he's pitched well in his last half dozen outings, and if we're just going by results from over the weekend against the Dodgers, Justin Verlander was clearly the Giants' best starting pitcher. So, these things tend to take care of themselves, or these answers tend to take care of themselves. So there's a Giants update. If anything of note happens, scoring on either side, hopefully for the Giants, we will pass it along. But as it stands right now, Joel Peguero's in a bit of a pickle. The Diamondbacks got a little something happening here. Runners on first and second, no outs in the bottom of the sixth. Boy. So it's getting a little dicey. We'll keep you updated on what's happening.
These are the ones they have to win.
These are the ones you have to win. They're going to see the Dodgers 4 more times after these 3 games in Arizona. So the Giants definitely need to get back on the winning track, and getting 2 out of the 3 in Arizona. I don't know if it's a must, because again, the Mets are Metsing. The Mets are off tonight, and the Mets have 3 in San Diego, and the Giants are a game and a half back in the standings, 2.5 back with the Mets having the wild card. So the Mets have won a couple in a row, or I think 2 out of 3. I'm not sure exactly, but the Giants are still in striking distance. But you can't keep waiting for the Mets to come back to you as they have. The Giants are going to still have to go forward, as they had, to get it to within a game and a half, 2.5 with the wild card. So getting at least 2 out of 3 in Arizona, I think, is a necessity now. Bases loaded with no outs. Let's move on to football, shall we? And get into the San Francisco 49ers, who are one of the 2-0 teams in the league. You got the Colts, you have the Bills, Eagles, Packers, Bucks, Rams, and the Arizona Cardinals, who the Niners will see coming up this weekend. Those are the teams that are 2-0. Niners going into New Orleans and beating the Saints, and doing it with Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. Mac Jones went out there and hey, man, I think it's fair to say, to characterize Mac Jones's play as he went to New Orleans. Mac Jones balled out, dog. He balled out.
I'll tell you, I was more impressed with the 49ers offense than I expected to be, and less impressed with the 49ers defense than I expected them to be. I think they out-talented the Saints, but defensively, I didn't think they were great. I think they made great plays when they needed, but I don't think they were great. That's not a team that you should really be. Nah.
The Niners' run defense in the first half could have been better. Once they got to the second half, they tightened it up, and I think your characterization of how the defense played is accurate. Is that when they needed to make plays, as against Seattle, in Seattle the first week of the season, when they needed to make plays, like Bosa getting stops late, Fred Warner playing like an absolute demon late, Bryce Huff with that late sack, they had the talent to do that. I do, however, think that, the Niners defense, and I've said this time and time again on the show, my biggest concern about the Niners going into the season was, how long would it take for guys not named Warner, Bosa, and Lenore to be a part of the progress of this team? And I thought, and maybe it's still going to be this way, I thought that there were going to be some severe ups and downs, almost whiplash-like ups and downs, because you were leaning heavily on young guys
Yeah.
Like Marquis Siegel, Utur Gross-Matos, Renardo Green. I'm probably missing a couple other names. Jordan Elliott. Niner fans know who I'm talking about. These are guys that have been on the team for a while, on the defense, but they're young guys that you're still kind of waiting for them to really take hold. Add on top of that the reliance on rookies like Michael Williams, like Upton Stout. D Winters is another guy. He's not a rookie. He's been on the team now. I think this is his third year. But when was D Winters going to be? And by the way, I'm completely all over the place. But Khalil Mack just popped up on my screen. He does indeed have a broken arm. His left arm is in a sling, and he is on the bench. It's still 10-6, by the way. 2-minute warning. Chargers on top of the Raiders. I'll give you a Giants update in just a second, and I'll wait on that because it's not really good, so it's not really that important right now. But so I wondered how long it would take. Chargers just scored 16-6 now. I wondered how long it would take for the other guys on the Niners, to use a catch-all term, how long it would take for them to be a positive part of this offense. After 2 weeks, first 2 weeks of the season, I have been very impressed with all of those young guys, particularly the rookies that have been able to come along, and I haven't seen any of those severe, good and bad plays. Everything has been steady. I've seen it after 2 weeks, but I've seen a steady growth in terms of individual players like Michael Williams from week 1 to what I saw yesterday in New Orleans. I mean, the growth just from 7 days, 6-7 days is impressive. So I say all that to say this, is that, yes, I do think that in the first half, the Niners defensively left a little meat on the bone. But for the second week in a row, on the road, you get to winning time where plays need to be made. You have guys making plays not named Bosa and Warner and Lenore. But you also, when it's time for Bosa and Warner in particular, and then Huff came in, as I mentioned, to make that sack late to salt the game away in New Orleans, when you need your best players, your all-pros, future Hall of Famers to make a play, they're doing it. So if you have a defense where you got guys you can count on, like Bosa and Warner and Lenore, and then you got other guys sprinkling in to make plays over the course of a 60-minute game, I think this Niner defense, man, is 5 steps ahead of where I thought they would be at this point in the season. I think they've exceeded their own expectations for this point in the season, and I think they're only going to get better. I am extremely high on these guys, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think that would be a fair expectation for them to continue to improve. I actually have not been as impressed as I thought I'd be with the 49ers defense, but mainly I think it's because of the competition that they're playing. I expect them to be a little more dominant against these particular teams. However, when you got a rivalry game and then you got a game in New Orleans where sometimes cats get that New Orleans flu and things can go wrong. Things can go wrong out there in the middle of the night on bourbon. So, Miami and New Orleans have taken down some of the greats.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they're stacking wins, and their young guys are stacking good days, good performances. This weekend against Arizona is going to be tough, and we'll get into the matchup, Wednesday and particularly on Friday. But right now, 2-0 and some surprises from young guys, and to do what they did yesterday offensively with a backup quarterback where, hey, man, I thought that with the Saints allowing 147 yards, if I'm remembering correctly, to Arizona in week 1 on the ground, I thought, well, this is perfect for the Niners to go in there, manage the game with Mac Jones, and run the ball with Christian McCaffrey, particularly, obviously, and Brian Robinson, and play defense, get out of there with a low-scoring game. And if it's got to be a close win, fine. But a win is a win. So then what happens? They go in there, and Mac Jones throws the ball 39 times.
Boy, that is a lot of faith. That's a lot.
But like I said, he looked good doing it. He balled out.
Yeah, he's a veteran. I mean, honestly, I don't want to get into the quarterback controversy.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
If Brock Purdy is gone for the next 3-4 weeks, and this kid,
don't do it.
Good,
don't do it.
It wouldn't shock if the Niners go, you know what? We can save a little money. We can move this guy out here. Give it to this kid. Let's move the big contract out. I don't expect it to happen, but it's not beyond the entire realm of possibility.
It's beyond the entire realm of possibility. Stop it. Don't do that. You know what? Hang on here. You keep talking. I got something for you real quick. Okay. All right. I want you to say what you said again. Just do it again. Go ahead.
Oh, well, that is not out of the realm of possibility that we could be looking at a quarterback controversy, and our boy Brock Purdy could be on the block.
I got to hit you with a bra, really. What? Stop.
Look for it.
Stop.
Look for it. He had a lot of confidence in letting him throw it 39 times. That's insane to me. However, the guy is a veteran. It's not like he's new to this.
That was his 50th start.
Yeah, yes. So he's not a rookie. Let him fling it around if you think you can. I personally would not have, but you know what? Coach Shanahan knows far more than me.
Well, listen, 39 times, and it was out of necessity. You know, New Orleans was clearly trying to stop the run. You know, they were loading up the box, they were loading up the fronts. Yeah. They were expecting them to do what I expected them to do, and that's why I am not an offensive coordinator. But I said this on Friday that Kyle Shanahan was very comfortable with Mac Jones. I didn't think he was that comfortable to the tune of throwing it 39 times, but his comfortability, if you will, was rewarded because 39 attempts, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now, he got himself sacked 3 times, and I put all those sacks on Mac Jones for holding the ball. I don't put him on the offensive line, the Niners' offensive line, that I thought played very, very well, especially compared to their Week 1 performance against Seattle. But to throw it that much, and there were no balls. There were no balls that were almost intercepted. Obviously, there were no balls that were intercepted. Kyle Shanahan goes into that game knowing he's got a guy in Mac Jones who's going to do what he asks him to do. He's not going to freelance, which is what Kyle Shanahan absolutely hates out of his quarterback. And he made good, smart decisions. He had touch. The long ball was there. He did everything that he was supposed to do. And, you know, not that I believe that the Niners would ever make a decision about a player's health or availability based on, oh, my God, we got to have him. I don't believe that they would ever rush Brock Purdy back under any circumstances.
No.
But now, after what just happened in New Orleans, and Arizona's a completely different animal. Okay, Arizona's a better team than New Orleans. But not that the Niners were going to rush Brock Purdy back, but I think they flew back from New Orleans going, okay, let's check on Brock's status. Let's see. If he could play this week, we'll play him because he's their best option to win. But if we don't have to play him, that's cool. We have a guy that we have complete and total confidence in. And it's not just confidence that we know internally. It's confidence that we saw on display in the Superdome yesterday to the tune of 3 touchdowns and no interceptions from Mac Jones.
You know, one of the things that interests me a lot, primarily the last 5 or 6 years, is that the 49ers just have a tough time with quarterbacks who can move.
Yeah.
They present a very unique challenge to them because I'm watching Spencer Rattler just like, okay, this dude should not be this much of a problem.
No, you're right.
There's something about these, not even like a running quarterback, but just guys who can move. They buy time, and suddenly we get discombobulated out there.
There were a couple of instances that Spencer Rattler scrambled, ran with the ball, whatever you want to call it, and he broke some tackles. Got some positive yardage. I think I'm going to credit Spencer Rattler with that more than I'm going to ding the Niners defense. Spencer Rattler, I don't want to say he impressed me, but he wasn't nearly as because I want to be fair to him. You know what? He did impress me. He didn't blow my mind, but he impressed me. There are some guys on this Saints team who have hands like the Venus de Milo. Like that tight end, Johnson, big dude. But you throw it to him 4 times, he's going to drop at least 2 of them. So if he had better weapons and a better team around him, I think Spencer Rattler can be a serviceable quarterback. And he's a guy with some athleticism, and he's not a small guy too. Sure. But to your point, the Niners have trouble. I mean, pretty much all teams have trouble with running quarterbacks, but the Niners in particular have problems with one mobile quarterback. And it's the guy they're going to see this coming up Sunday in Kyler Murray. This game's going to be a lot of fun on Sunday between the Niners and the Cardinals.
They don't like each other as
no. They do not. They do not. It is a division rivalry. But the Niners, 2-0. Don't matter how you get to that point, as long as you are undefeated, you are feeling good. And as I mentioned, the Niners, one of the group of teams at 2-0 with the Bills, the Eagles, the surprising Colts, the not so surprising Rams, the not so surprising Packers, the Cardinals, as I mentioned, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who got to 2-0 tonight, beating the Texans. Any surprises to you? I think I know which one you'll pick, but any surprises to you on that 2-0 list? I know what mine is.
Actually, not really. Not really. I'll be honest.
Colts don't surprise you?
Only based on, I guess, because the teams that they've played, maybe.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, put it this way: if I was a betting man, I wouldn't have betted on them being 2-0. But looking at the teams they've played, it doesn't shock me that they're 2-0. I don't feel like they're like beating anybody who's a world beater or anything. So this could be the 2 wins they get the entire year.
I did not have Daniel Jones on my quarterback resurrection bingo card. I absolutely did not have it. A lot of quarterback injuries here, and we are just finishing up week 2. Yeah, Joe Burrow's obviously the biggest name on this list. Dreaded turf toe. He's going to have surgery. He's going to be out for 3 months at a minimum. So the Bengals season is cooked. Jaden Daniels.
Getting a lot of Andrew Luck vibes from Joe Burrow, man.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. I hope he gets out of Cincinnati before he decides that football is no longer for him. But yeah, the Bengals are just a trash ass organization. Jaden Daniels had an MRI on his knee, and the knee injury he suffered against the Packers, the 2-0 Packers, might keep Jaden Daniels out of the Commanders game this upcoming Sunday. And this is somebody who watched Jaden Daniels at LSU. He is a talented young dude, but he is light in the cakes. And I saw him half a dozen times running around in college at LSU and just get Peter rolled. Now he gets up, okay? Yeah. He's a tough dude, but you can't keep taking those type of hits. And the way that Jaden Daniels played in college is the way he's playing in the NFL right now. And let me tell you something. That shit has a real short shelf life.
That's right. These are grown men out here playing for paychecks, bro. I guess they're playing for paychecks in college. But it's different, though. It's different. It's different. It's
different. Justin Fields suffered a concussion. Remember the conversation we were talking about earlier about you go to the Browns or the Jets as a player with talent, a player with any amount of try hard, and that organization will suck it out of you, and not in a good way. Justin Fields trying to, I don't want to say resurrect his career because it hadn't really got off the ground, just trying to get his career started again. And maybe for the last time, Justin Fields suffered a concussion. Obviously, we know about Brock Purdy. Thank goodness his toe nowhere near as bad as Joe Burrow. But I would think that Brock Purdy, even Mac Jones's performance notwithstanding, I would think that Brock Purdy is still at least a week or 2 away. And J.J. McCarthy suffered an ankle injury, and he's going to be out multiple weeks. So, to me, this is just football, and I think this is more of coincidental and just the nature of the quarterbacking position beast, if you will. But it's hard to not look at this list of quarterback injuries and just go, damn, and be happy that your quarterback is not injured, because there, but for the grace of the football gods, go your quarterback.
Yeah, I saw a few notable quarterback performances yesterday. Maybe I'm not ready to throw dirt on Russell Wilson quite yet.
Yeah, man.
Wow. God damn. He ain't lose that game. Put it that way.
No.
He threw that pick, but he ain't lose that game.
No, he was he was the reason that they were in a position to win that game.
Yeah, man.
Russell Wilson is going to be able to throw a bomb until the day he dies.
Yep.
He and Aaron Rodgers have the prettiest deep ball.
Perfect.
I've ever seen.
It's perfect. They are perfect. Everything about them is perfect. And
it is a lethal weapon, without a doubt.
Insane. Russell looked really good. I was like shockingly good.
Now,
not just but moving around in the pocket, not holding on to it, getting the hell out of there. Very impressive. On the other hand,
I will say this though, and everything you said about Russell Wilson, I wholeheartedly agree with.
Yeah,
I do think we have to add context. And I'm not saying this because I hate him. I do hate him, but what I'm about to say is true. The Cowboys can't stop a nosebleed.
They're bad.
So Russell Wilson, running around out there looking like Russell Wilson from 10 years ago. Hey, man, I enjoyed it. That's great. I still want to see old boy play football. But contextually speaking, he was playing against what might be the worst defense in the National Football League. Now, it's still an NFL defense, but out of the 32 teams, that Cowboys
one?
Dog, they can't stop anybody.
Well, I mean,
tell me what they do.
I don't know, Rod.
See?
I don't know. I will say I like this kid Neighbors that they got out there, and it looked like they made a concerted effort to get him the ball.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
And that the week before, it did not seem that way, and people were unhappy.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Make sure you are cognizant of the mistakes you're making and do not make those mistakes again. And you know what also helps? If your quarterback is older and struggling and you want to specifically target one guy in the passing game, you know what helps with that? The Dallas Cowboys being the opponent. Because they ain't got no pass rush. Their best cornerback is injured. It's a clown show. So I can't think of a better situation to get your aging quarterback and your young stud wide receiver going than seeing the Cowboys on the schedule and going, you know what? I think we're going to throw the ball around today, dog.
You know who threw, because we're talking about deep ball throwers, just thought about Randall Cunningham. Beautiful deep ball. Beautiful. That thing looked like a punt, too. It looked like a punt whenever he threw it. Aaron Rodgers, can we talk about him?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He was down to earth yesterday.
Yeah. Well, he saw a better team.
That is also
that Seahawks squad is they are. I mean, it's early, but I think we can project them to be a team that late in the season you're gonna have a discussion about them being a wild card team. I think the best teams in the NFC West are the Niners and the Rams, but that is a good Seahawks outfit, particularly defensively, their defensive line.
For sure.
Yeah,
I'm impressed with them. Not impressed with Aaron Rodgers. It's time for Mike Tomlin to cut bait, get the hell out of there. He's going to have to quit. They're not going to fire him, and I don't think he's going to allow Aaron Rodgers to make him quit. Not going to fire him. So this has been the interesting story for me, was seeing how Aaron Rodgers would mesh with Mike Tomlin, who basically is not playing that shit. So that's what we got to deal with. We'll see how this thing plays out throughout the year. But my gut tells me that at some point there's going to be stories about how they aren't getting along.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that he's going to say something dumb, and Mike Tomlin is going to, because Mike Tomlin, I don't know if he wears his emotions on his sleeve, but Mike Tomlin don't take no shit from nobody.
You know where he's coming from. Don't play with Mike Tomlin.
Bengals to trade for Cousins. I don't think the Bengals would do that because the Bengals are not serious about winning. Because if the Bengals were serious about winning, you know what they would have done? They would have put a competent offensive line in front of Joe Burrow. They would have done that years ago. If the Bengals were serious about winning, they wouldn't have had that silly ass holdout with Trey Hendrickson.
Seriously.
Paul Brown Jr. has never, ever been serious about winning. So, Anthony, no, I don't think they're going to trade for Cousins, because that would take some acumen, and it would take some forethought, and that's something I don't think the Bengals possess, because their owner doesn't want them to possess it.
Also, yesterday, watching Patrick Mahomes yesterday, that you might be right. Like, that offensive line they're not good.
No,
their line is not good.
No, and he doesn't have any receivers either.
I mean, I'm like, this dude is amazing, because he was literally the only thing keeping them in that game yesterday. I kind of forgot how tough he was, because he sounds like a goober. He looks like a goober. He walks funny, and then you watch it, but oh yeah, this dude is a tough motherfucker. He's tough.
Hey man, Pat Mahomes is a stud. Is he annoying? And he's annoying because he's on a team that wins too much. He's annoying because he smartly uses the quarterback favoring rules to his advantage. That pulling up, at the sidelines, that nonsense. He's not doing anything wrong, and that's what you should do. He's smart, he's tough, and he is easily already one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Not the greatest, but he is on that list. Okay.
Oh,
I don't think you can get past 5 and not have him in the discussion.
He's got to be in that conversation.
He is a tough customer, and he's an athlete. He's a much bigger dude than you think he is. I had a chance to see him up close a couple of times, and I was stunned the first time I saw him.
Oh, you're not a little guy.
He's a thick dude. All right.
Yeah.
No Diddy.
Yeah.
No Diddy. He's a thick dude. Okay. I was checking him out. I was checking out his trunk. Okay. I was seeing what he was working with. I'm like, thick. Okay. Yeah. By the way, thick with 2 C's. Okay.
With 2 C's or a Q. It just depends on how you're feeling that.
I didn't even think about using a Q.
So the crazy stat that I saw yesterday, which I did not know, but they said that Mahomes, that was the first time he'd ever lost 3 games in a row in his entire professional career. Oh no, in pro career or college, he'd never lost 3 games in a row.
He didn't lose 3 at Tech, because they were middling at best. They had a couple of good teams, but nothing that was going to threat for a national championship. But no, he's a winner. Okay. He's a flat out winner. And he right now is, he was already the best player on that team, but there has been such a drop off in talent, because guys have gotten older, guys have gotten injured, guys have left the team. Right now, Pat Mahomes, and I don't feel sorry for him.
No,
Pat Mahomes right now is a man who is searching for answers, and I enjoy watching him play, even as annoying as he can be, and annoying it is to see him beat teams that I care about and teams that I cover. I love watching him play football. I don't mind seeing him struggle. I don't mind seeing him struggle at all.
I'm with you.
Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
He's even with the current struggles, he's still going to be a guy. And it might not be this year. Might not be next year. But he's still going to be a dude that you're going to have to reckon with.
Absolutely.
Playing quarterback for another 10 years.
Absolutely.
Flat out.
Absolutely. That dude is going out there to ball. And honestly, even with a team like this, you still can't be too sure about your lead.
Oh, no.
He still can't be too sure.
He's a tactical nuke. Okay. He can go off at any time.
If Travis Kelce actually hangs onto that ball, that game is probably over.
Hey man, let's keep it funky. If he's Kelce, not washed, he's pretty close to it.
He looked pretty good yesterday.
He was struggling last year, though, too. He was struggling last year.
The last couple of games.
But he's not the uber threat that he was as short as 3 years ago. Like he's prone to make mistakes. He's prone to drop passes. You could clearly see him getting frustrated. He's not as twitchy as he used to be. You know what? He was never the biggest or the fastest guy, But again, there's another dude who's a ridiculous athlete. He was very fluid, but when he needed to be twitchy, when he needed to get to from point A to point B quickly, or if he needed to get small, or even if he needed to get big, he was very good at. He doesn't do that anymore. Doesn't do that. He's much easier, Kelsey. He's much easier to cover now than he was, like I said, 2-3 years ago.
Plus, it also sucks for him when you're basically the only weapon that anybody's concerned with, because there's nobody else around you at this point.
Yes,
so we know that you're the safety valve for Pat Mahomes. If you're not there, he's just have to make up some shit.
Yeah.
So that also kind of conspires to mess with him too.
Dom wants to know how many more weeks does Mike McDaniel hold this job down.
He
doesn't make it past October. Listen, he might not make it to October. I don't know how itchy of a trigger finger Stephen Ross has, but wow, it went from sugar to shit real quick for Miami.
Woo. Man,
Lord have mercy.
They don't look. I mean, they don't look competent. Like they don't look competent.
They don't like him at all. They don't like him. They don't like his get down.
I don't know what happened. It's weird because it seemed like they all vibe with him. Now all of a sudden they're like, yeah.
Well, the internal goings on of the Dolphins, obviously, I don't know anything about. It sure seems like they stopped buying what he was selling, and that happens.
When you lose.
This is still a league where guys have to be down with whatever the coach is putting out there. They don't have to like him, but they have to believe in what they are being asked to do. And by the middle of last year, they stopped believing in what Mike McDaniel was trying to get them to do. That's just my guess. Somewhat educated, but that's just my guess. What I know for a fact, where it started at quarterback.
Yep.
They don't have a quarterback.
Mm-mm.
They don't have a quarterback. And I think to Mike McDaniel's credit, he was able the first year, maybe the first 2 years, but really the first year, if my Miami Dolphins timeline is correct, and it's probably not, he was able to get the best and the most out of a limited quarterback in Tua.
Yeah.
Once those returns started to diminish on a week-to-week basis, and then with the concussions and all of that stuff,
I think we're going to find out that that's played a big role in where Tua is.
It went off a cliff. It went off a cliff. And the most important relationship in all of American professional sports is the relationship between the head coach and the quarterback. It doesn't have to be a symbiotic relationship, but the coach and the quarterback, they have to be on the same page. You know what I mean? Brady and Belichick, clearly we know now they weren't tight. Okay.
No.
They didn't kick it. They didn't care for each other, but they were both on the same page, and they were both about that same winning life at whatever it takes. Once that started to fracture, then that's when it started to be over for the Patriots. I'm clearly not comparing the Patriots with Brady and Belichick to the Dolphins, Tua and Mike McDaniel. But my point is that clearly quarterback and coach, when they had a good relationship in Miami, it was all good. When that relationship started to dissolve for whatever reason, whether it's because they didn't believe in the coach, the quarterback didn't believe in the coach, or whether the coach didn't believe in the quarterback because of the quarterback's limited abilities and his concussions, doesn't matter. That quarterback-coach relationship in Miami is nowhere near as strong as it was. And like I said, we can all see that. Stevie Wonder can see that. So that's all I need to know about the situation in Miami right now.
Yeah, I feel like they've got to get Tua out of there. Like he is not making decisions fast. Everything seems to be a step slower for such a young guy to have this kind of decline so quickly. I'm like, yeah, these concussions have taken more of an effect on your ability to make quick decisions than people will give you credit for.
Yeah, and also Marcus, I think he wasn't really that good to begin with. I do think you have to give credit to McDaniel for getting what he got out of Tua.
Absolutely.
I don't know if anybody else in the league would have been able to do that, quite frankly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just think that he was again able to get away with it. But I think he was sharper. He can make some of the decisions. He could scheme this guy into some big plays.
Yes.
I don't think you can do that with him anymore.
Yeah. Real quick Giants update. And if you don't like bad news, cover your ears. What was a 1-1 game in the 6th inning has now turned into a 7-1 game in the top of the 8th. Arizona on top of the Giants 7-1. The Giants have only scored 1 run and have only gotten 2 hits. And there's only one person responsible for the 1 run and the 2 hits. And that's Casey Schmidt with a solo home run in the 3rd and a single in the 6th inning, if my memory serves me correctly. So if this keeps up, the Giants are going to be 2 games in the standings behind the Mets for the 3rd wild card, 3 games as far as the tiebreaker is concerned. So not ideal. Not ideal, as the Giants are, unfortunately, on their way to losing now their 3rd game in a row.
Only 2 games.
Ooh. Hey, we spent a lot of time talking about the NFL. Biggest sports story over the weekend was we saw history, dog. We saw not just boxing history, we saw sports history. That fight between Crawford and Canelo was an absolute what's the best way to put it? Watching Crawford completely and totally dismantle, take apart one of the greatest fighters of our generation, and Canelo Alvarez. Watching that happen, man, in real time was unbelievable.
Yeah, I had this is the feeling that I had going in. I felt like Bud was going to get him,
and he got him.
I felt like he was going to get him. People thought that was crazy, but I just feel like he's going to get him, mainly because he's so skilled. And Canelo, as great as he is, movement bothers him. And Canelo's a very smart fighter, by the way, and he sets these dudes up for those knockout shots really, really well. But you can tell by watching this fight that Bud had been studying the shit out of Canelo. Everything Canelo would try to do, there was an immediate answer for it. He barely touched the dude. Now he got a little frisky towards the end, but he does this all the time. He just kind of feels you out the first 3 rounds, and then he gets closer and closer and closer until he feels like he can knock you out. You're playing too much. You might want to back out of there. You want to get you stray.
Hey man, everything you said was right on, but I want to get to something that you just touched on. Where last couple of rounds, it looked like, okay, Bud was feeling himself.
Yeah, he
felt like he had it, so he started to take some chances, started to take some bigger shots. Obviously, it didn't cost him, but I said it to my man Bonte Hill, my coworker at NBC Sports Bay Area on Twitter. He was like, I don't know about this one. I'm like, I think Bud needs to get the last 2 rounds. And I say that because not that I'm some boxing expert, because I'm not, but I've seen enough boxing. And I said this on Friday, I'm sure. I've seen enough boxing to where judges in Nevada, particularly, do some goofy ass shit. And what's one of the things in sports is that how do you beat the champ? You got to knock him out, because if you leave it to the judges, they might end up screwing you on some goofy stuff. And that's how you end up with split decisions. That's how you end up with draws, that kind of stuff. And so obviously, Bud won the fight and won it not necessarily handily, but he won it on all scorecards. But dog, check this out. He had to, Bud, win the last 2 rounds. Because he wasn't guaranteed. I mean, listen, as far as I'm concerned, there's a couple of rounds you could give Canelo in the first 10. But as far as I'm concerned, Bud won the vast majority of them. But he had to win the last couple of rounds on points, because if he didn't, and I think he knew this, not that he knew what was happening on the scorecards, but he obviously understands boxing. Crawford does on a molecular level. That's how you end up beating a guy like Canelo, going up 2 weight classes in the process. I think he knew that he had to take some chances in the last couple of rounds to maybe land that knockout shot, but I think also to show some activity, to show some flourish, so there could be, as close as you can get to, there could be no doubt in the judges' minds that the better fighter over the entire course of the 12-round fight was Terrence Bud Crawford. He had to win those last 2 rounds.
I mean, we know that every fighter does it now, but Sugar Ray kind of started this. If you can win that last 30 to 40 seconds of every round, that's probably what's going to stick out the most in the judge's mind.
Yes.
And the other thing that judges do, which I personally hate, and this is one of the reasons that it gets so wonky, is any close round they give to the champion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that makes it wonky every time. So just like you said, if you want to win, you got to dominate.
Got to dominate.
That fight was not this close.
No. He absolutely dominated. And people are now saying, because of what Crawford did, beating Canelo, one of the greatest of all time, going up a couple of weight classes, and the way he tactically took apart Canelo, and no worse for wear. You know, I've seen a couple of interviews with Crawford, and he's at the Raider game tonight.
Yeah,
man, don't look like he was in a fight. with one of the hardest punchers of all time, not wearing sunglasses. You know, normally after a fight, guys will wear sunglasses, right? Because they got touched up in the grill. Crawford's like, "Nah, dog, I'm going out here bald face, baby," because I didn't get touched. But because of Crawford's performance and how technically dominant it was, people are saying that he's one of the greatest American fighters of all time. And when I saw it, immediately I had that reaction, like, "Yo, let's not be the prisoner of the moment."
When I think about it, though, like it's not absurd.
It's not absurd. Not absurd. It's not absurd. He is he up there with Mayweather? Absolutely. Mayweather would have never taken that fight.
Absolutely, he would have taken that fight.
Never taken that fight. Is he up there with Sugar Ray? No. But is he in that conversation? If we're talking great American fighters, Sugar Ray Leonard is a great American fighter.
Yes.
When you talk great American fighters, can you say Bud Crawford's name after you said Sugar Ray Leonard's name? I think you can.
I mean, here's the thing with Terrence Crawford. This dude never ducked a soul.
Nobody.
So he didn't have a thick resume because he was ready to fight people when they were in their primes. He wasn't dodging. He wasn't like people hate when I say this about Floyd, but Floyd essentially, after he got the title, after he went up in weight, he was basically fighting dudes way past their prime.
He was stat padding. Absolutely.
He was trying to preserve that zero. He was
100%. 100%.
He fought Pacquiao after Pacquiao got knocked out twice. Come on, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. He picked fights that he could win, literally.
Shane Mosley was 38 years old. and by the way, still gave him a fight. Young Shane Mosley probably wins. I'm not even bullshitting. Young Shane Mosley probably beats Mayweather.
Did I go to that fight? I'm looking at my press pass. No, I went to Vargas Mosley. I did not go, and I went to De La Hoya Mayweather. But I did not go to Mosley Mayweather. Oh, I might have gone to Mosley Mayweather. I can't remember, for God's sakes. I probably did, because if I did, I would have remembered it. But no, you're 100%. No, you're 100% correct. I mean, not only did Crawford not duck anybody, I mean, he stalked his prey in Canelo. Right?
People were ducking him. Let's be honest. Like people were ducking Bud.
He went to go get Canelo and gave Canelo. I shouldn't say gave, but as far as the money split was concerned, matter of fact, now there's Crawford on my TV right now, been interviewed at the Raider Charger game. By the way, Chargers on top of the Raiders 20-6, 7-22 in the third. Crawford, again, don't even look like he's been in a fight. I'll see if I can take a picture of this, and then I can I'll post it here on the show. But yeah, not only did he not duck anybody, he went to get Canelo, and the purse was over $100 million. And the talk is that Canelo got $100 million and Crawford got 50. Now, $50 million
yes,
is a good amount of money.
Yes.
but to just allow for it to be 100 million to 50, because 50 million is 50 million. That's a big gap in between, in between guys. To be cool with that just because you want the fight and you want those belts and you want that title. Like I said, obviously the great American fighters, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali. You throw Mike Tyson in there, Mayweather, for better, for worse. Who am I missing on that list? Roy Jones. We throw Roy in there.
Joe. Oh my God.
Joe Louis.
The Must. The Italian guy.
LaMotta.
Not LaMotta. He held the record before.
I forget who you're talking about. But we also forgot
Marciano.
Rocky Marciano. Thank you. Rocky Marciano is 55 years old. We are George Foreman. George Foreman's on that list. Foreman's on the list. I think you can say all of those names, and without being a prisoner of the moment, I think you can say all of those names, and you could throw Crawford in there. Yeah, I feel like
we
you
didn't even get to Hearns and Hagler. We didn't even get to these dudes.
You can. They are on that list.
Holyfield, by the way.
I think Crawford's on that list too. I really do. I really do. What he pulled off was nothing short of amazing, and just the way that he took apart Canelo. And even Canelo said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but you can find the video. Canelo said he had no answer for him.
Nope.
Canelo is a great fighter, and he said he had no answers for Terence Crawford.
Escobar points out Andre Ward. Andre Ward is one of the great fighters of all time, but we don't talk about him at all. And it's so strange to me. He never got like the press, the hype, but he was quietly, literally one of the best fighters the game has ever seen.
Well, two things. He did an unbelievable job on the color commentary on Netflix. So shout out to Oakland's own son of God, Andre Ward. Would it be fair to say, and this is not Andre Ward's fault, but would it be fair to say that he just doesn't have like a signature fight or a signature group of fights? He didn't have a trilogy. You know what I mean? Where he went back and forth with a guy and everybody was paying attention to it.
Yeah, and I think part of it, he, for better or worse, he really wasn't a draw. He wasn't a very charismatic fighter. Mm-hmm. That's a huge part of it. Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, dudes would be like, why am I going to fight a dude who could potentially beat me and he's not a draw? So the person's not going to be
making no money. Yeah.
Yeah. Why am I going to take a chance with my own career by fighting a dude who has a real
better than me?
I mean, why am I going to do that?
One last thing on the fight, and then we'll move on. If there was ever any doubt, and I'll move these banners here, if there was ever any doubt that we in the United States of America enjoy spectacle more than we enjoy substance, look at these numbers here from Netflix. Greatest fighter of our two of our greatest fighters of our generation engage in an actual real-life boxing match with consequences, okay, with stakes, legitimate stakes, all right? Belts were at stake. Okay, legacies were at stake. 41 million people watched that. A fight where you had a YouTube boy beat up an old man who showed his butt cheeks literally before the fight. Mike Tyson did. 108 million people watched a match that never should have happened. That was an absolute farce and an exhibition. More people watched that than an actual real life match that had two very good boxers fighting for actual titles.
Yeah. And by the way, I still think Mike Tyson was paid not to beat the dog shit out of Paul.
I mean, I would like to believe that. I'm sure there was some stipulation that, hey, let's
don't go all out.
Don't go all out.
It's just an exhibition.
and we knew that it wasn't an actual fight.
Right.
What we were all banking on was Mike Tyson to just lose his shit one last time.
That's what it is. You're 100% on the money.
We were all just like, Mike, we know that you're doing this for the money. And we know that this is a farce. But if we could just get 1986 Mike Tyson for about 5 good seconds and you just drop a real nice combination on him, America would appreciate that. But we never got that from Mike. So,
boy, listen, that says everything you need to say right there.
YouTube boy
Mike,
lived.
That thing is over within the first 35 seconds. But that's not out of the realm of possibility because Mike was knocking him out like that. The young people will never know.
They'll never know
dominance of Mike Tyson.
You'll never know.
At one point, he was more popular in the world than Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Y'all don't understand how big Mike Tyson was.
There was a time in American history where the name Michael would get people going. Whoa, you're talking, like Biggie said in Victory, Jackson, Jordan, Tyson. There was a time where the name Michael rang absolute bells.
Wait.
Yes.
Shout out Ricky Hatton, R.I.P.
Yeah, man. Ricky Hatton died, man.
46 years old. One of the most fun fighters you'll ever see. UK dude, tough as nails. Very, very entertaining fighter. And I had been reading that he was on his way to a comeback. After 13 years away from the ring, he was training to come back. Now, I don't know if that had anything to do with his death, but that's wow. Tragic,
he was 48 years old. It's tragic that he died, but I mean, he didn't need to be trying to get in the ring because
he didn't.
Let me tell you, I was at Hatton, and Pacquiao brutalized him. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, knocked him out, right? And walking out of the arena, it was at the Mandalay Bay. Walking out of the arena, he was still on the canvas.
Not good, bro.
Next day at the pool, there's like a pool party.
Yeah.
Who shows up at the pool party? Ricky Hatton.
Got my money.
What, you just face down, ass up in the ring after Pacquiao?
He woke up and checked that direct deposit. Said, cool.
Good God. So yeah, rest in peace, Ricky Hatton, dog. He was, he was about it. He was, wasn't going to miss a payday.
Oh man!
Do I have that pass up here? I guess I don't have it. I don't see it here. Look around here for a second. Do I see it? Don't see it. I'll see if I can find it here in a second. Let's do some on this date before we get out of here. Score update first. Top 9 Giants in serious trouble. 2 outs. They are down 8-1 to the Arizona Diamondbacks. So the Giants on their way to losing their 3rd in a row and now being 2 games back. 3 games with the tiebreaker of the Mets for the 3rd wild card, and the Raiders are stinking up the joint, headed now to the 4th, 20-6. The Chargers on their way to being the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th team to start the season 2-0, and that always gives you a leg up percentage-wise on making the playoffs. Let's do on this date, September 15th. On this date, the cinematic classic Up in Smoke premiered in theaters by the
13 or 12 when it came out?
genius comedy duo Cheech and Chong. 1978 Up in Smoke premiered.
I was lying. Jeez.
Man, to a kid, it's nothing funnier than a Cheech and Chong movie. I didn't understand anything about weed. I mean, I knew I didn't have any personal experience with it, but I knew what it did. Nothing funnier to 10-year-old me than a Cheech and Chong movie. Nothing funnier to adult me than a Cheech and Chong movie. What am I talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Still funny.
I mean, who didn't love Cheech and Chong? Who did not
Everybody
love
loved Cheech and Chong. Everybody loved Cheech and Chong.
I mean, the prime Cheech and Chong year, there were about 5 years where they could do no wrong. How many movies they make? 3, 4 of those Up in Smoke movies? Man, do those?
Yeah. It was at least 3 that they made, and all of them cinematic classics, for God's sake. So there you go. On this date in 1978, Up in Smoke premiered on this date in 1982. USA Today was
I
first
used to
published.
love the USA Today. I used to love USA
The
Today.
absolute best. The highlight of my day would be,
Man, look,
when the USA Today sports section. You want to talk
Yeah.
about something that these young Thundercats will never know the beauty of. When you got a USA Today sports section, you could hear the angels singing, right? It was the visual print version of ESPN back when ESPN was awesome.
amen. Like this thing was, especially as a young guy too. I'm like, oh, it was in color.
Oh,
And
it
it was the best.
Even the money
The
section was worth reading, and you didn't have any money.
The best.
Yeah. USA
And
Today.
it's gone now, right? It's
Gone,
completely
absolutely. It is as dead as Napoleon.
That is
Thanks,
a shame.
private equity. Good job.
Facts. I mean, the sports section was my jam, and the entertainment section, though.
The life section was great.
C,
Yes, sir. Yeah,
section
yeah.
C, and section D, right there
So
in my hand.
the news was blue, sports was red, the entertainment life was purple, and then money was green. It was perfect.
Yep.
It was a perfect newspaper. And and this is back when I was traveling a lot. There was nothing better than opening up your hotel room door and there being a USA Today at your hotel room.
Yeah, it was the standard for hotels.
It was the best thing in the world.
It was the standard for hotels.
So awesome. Awesome. On this date, 1982, the first national edition of the USA Today was published. And on this date in 1983, Huey Lewis and the News dropped Sports.
I'm not mad at that.
Third album. Oh my God. Huey Lewis and the News, baby. Man, yeah. So this is the one that had Harder Rock and Roll. I Want a New Drug. This is their banger. This is their best album. I Want a New Drug, Harder Rock and Roll, Heart and Soul, and If This Is It. And on radio and on MTV, you could not get away from Huey Lewis and the News. All those songs were catchy. All those songs were good. Sports is a banger. An absolute
I love
banger.
it, dude. And of course, obviously out here they're beloved. And I think he lost his voice, like he lost his ability to sing.
That's what I heard. Yeah. Got a chance to meet him. Really nice guy, and yeah, man, just a classic voice, classic album. Oh, and by the way, quick bit of Bay Area trivia: this album cover, which is a classic album cover, this bar is an actual bar, and it's a bar in Mill Valley called the 2 a.m. Club that the band used to play at before they broke it big. This album cover was shot in the 2 a.m. Club in Mill Valley in Marin.
Yeah, dude. And they were about to give this whole thing up before they hit it.
Yeah.
They were just give it the whole thing up because he was in his 30s, I think, when they finally hit.
No, yeah, he was an older guy. Absolutely. Yeah. It was
like Bill Withers was like 32, like that area.
It was close to time to get a real job for Huey.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Sports came out on this date in 1983. So there you go. On this date.
The joke was about Huey Lewis because at the time, Huey Lewis was obviously blowing up, but Eddie Money, also a Bay Area guy, was blowing up. And the joke was because Eddie Money was actually a police officer. He was a cop.
Eddie Mahoney. Yeah. Yeah.
He
was a New York City police officer. Yeah.
And then the joke was, wow, Eddie Money is a cop who looks like a rock star, and Huey Lewis is a rock star who looks like a cop.
It's funny because it's true.
It's true. 100%.
Oh man. Let's do best thing I saw today before we get out of here. I think sports photography, because we are now such a video society, that sports photography is not as revered as it used to be, and I think it still should be, even though video is always going to take precedence. A really good photograph, especially a really good sports photograph, I think is still valuable media currency, if you
No
will.
doubt about that. No doubt about
Check
that.
out this picture from a recent Padres game. Padres are a good team. They are on their way to the postseason. All right, so this is a great shot, right? You got a happy player in the foreground, and you could see in the background, you could see the assembled throng at Petco Park. You could see them in just ecstasy, right? Everybody's got their hands up, they're clapping, they're excited. But I want you to look closer at this picture, and if you can see what makes this picture so good. And I tell you what, you probably can't see it, so I'm going to go ahead and
make the picture
focus on the background,
that so you being held up above the head. Yeah, yeah.
The small child being lifted in the air in celebration. Hitting him with the Lion King. I am pro using small children as a means to celebrate your team's victory. So this picture of this small child being thrust into the air in victorious, rapturous celebration. This is the best thing I've seen today.
You know what, Rod? You talk about sports photography, and the more I think about it, the more I feel like sports photography, specifically sports photography, but also I think political photography too. But those are like the two areas of photography where the picture is much more emotional than actual video. I feel like you watch, because you catch that snapshot, that moment when something amazing happens. Like I've seen, seeing that Steph Curry shot in the Olympics over Wembanyama.
Yeah,
that's an insane shot.
Yeah. Well, the two principles of the photography, the subjects, Wembanyama and Curry, seeing their athleticism in that moment frozen in time is great, but then seeing the crowd and seeing the looks on those people's faces, it's like the Jordan push off, and he pushed off Byron Russell in that finals game, and the ball's in the air. And just seeing the look on the crowd's faces. I mean, I don't know how many times I've looked at that picture, and it feels like every time I see it, I see a different face in that crowd, and I can tell exactly what that person is thinking, even though I don't know that person. I wasn't in the building. I obviously don't know that person, but you can look on that person's face, and you know exactly what they're feeling. You don't get that in video. The video of that shot is great. It really is. But that still photograph of Russell helplessly out of place because he's been shoved and that ball in the air, suspended, it's going in, and Jordan's follow through, his shape. It's a beautiful piece of art. And you don't get that. As important as video is, you just don't get that sort of same visceral feeling and reaction as you do with a very, very good sports photograph.
I mean, look, you think of Ali in that black and white picture. That's one of the greatest sports pictures of all time, man. Or the picture of Kellen Winslow being helped off the field after the playoff game, the double overtime game against the Dolphins. That stuff makes you feel things, man.
Yeah, no, you're 100% correct. 100% correct. And Dom is right. Shout out to Brad and Michael Zagarias. I know Michael. He was he still is one of the Niners team photogs, and he was the A's photog and Bay Area legend, great rock photographer, you go to the Fillmore and you will see a bunch of pictures that Mike took from way back in the day, pictures of Janis Joplin and the Who and all sorts of great bands. He has a book out that
Really?
sort of details his life in pictures and details his life in rock and roll. Yeah, Z is a good people and a hell of an artist without a doubt. All right, that's the Monday edition of Quality Hang. Marcus, I say we did the damn thing.
Indeed, man. Indeed.
Yeah, man. We absolutely did it. To all of you in the comments, the Quality Hangers, we see you and we thank you as always for creating the community based around this show. That's exactly what we wanted. We love that you guys get together and talk amongst yourselves in the comments, and you guys add to the show with your comments. I try to get to as many of them as I can, to try and read as many as I can and get them up on the screen. Because you guys add juice and add vibes to the show. So always want to acknowledge you guys in the comments. Thank you so much for being a part of what we want to do here at Quality Hang. As always, we thank our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. Make sure you check them out online at hopmonk.com to see what they have coming up live music-wise, and also to see what they have coming up as far as craft beer specials, craft beer selections, and also their great and wonderful diverse menu. All right, Marcus, my man, looks like your Raiders are more than likely not going to get it done.
Hey, shocking.
I know. I can tell that you're absolutely broken up about it. We will be back as we always are on Wednesday at 8:00. So make sure you join us. Have yourselves a fantastic evening. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your week. And as always, be good and be good at it. We'll see you. All right, man.